Expat. How are you doing today? Welcome to today's video. I hope this is a good start of the week. Hopefully it will be a great week and it will be by fast so that we can start on the weekend again. So I'll just be giving you guys a little bit of insight on my expat life. So I myself am an expat 2 times over, I would say. I've lived in 4 countries in total, but 2 of those are my nationality. So I wouldn't say that I was an expat in those countries. The first country that I moved to that was aside from my own nationality was the UK actually. So I lived in the UK for 3 years. What I did there was I studied, I did the accountancy work, I just lived there. I moved a few houses there as well, so I've done my moving around. Obviously the thing that comes with being an expat is that you have to get all your documentations in place and you have to get everything registered and make sure that everything is well done so that you can have your income and your assets and all those things. So in the UK it was pretty straightforward. Obviously it's easy because I speak English, so the language barrier wasn't that much. In the country that I'm living now, I've had a lot of trouble with getting the documentation straight. To be honest, I would love to move my stuff around 20 times more often than I would love to do all this documentation that I've done so far again. And I'm not even finished yet. So what I had to get done was to get my residency, obviously, because when you live here, you pay taxes, you have to get social security, all those things that come with just being able to build a life in another place. The thing is that when I first moved here, I obviously didn't speak the language that well. And I don't know, it feels like there are so many hoops and tricks that you need to jump through and jump over to be able to get the normal documentation that you actually really need, because they require you to have that documentation. So you would think that they would help you out in a sense by making it easier. But that's not the case in this country where I live. So the first trouble that I had was when I just moved here, so I didn't speak the language. Rito wants to say hi as well, you know, he always feels a little bit left out when I do videos. So what happened the second month that I actually moved here was that I got robbed on the subway. And because of my nationality, I had an ID card. So literally everything was in that wallet. My bank cards from the UK, my ID card. So I got robbed on the subway without realizing it. I arrived to the other side of the tracks and I didn't have my wallet, so I couldn't even check out. This was also when I got branded as the unlucky one in my place of work and with my new friends that I met and everything, because it's just a series of unfortunate things that happened to me. But I always just, you know, do the best of it and make the best of it. So I had to go to the subway kind of information point to ask them if I could pass through the gates, because otherwise I would be stranded in the subway. I mean, it was not the most pleasant place to be for hours and hours on end. So of course they agreed, because they were going to take me straight to the police office to make the announcement of the theft. I don't know the English word for it. So I went there and with me not speaking the language, tried to get my way through and explaining what happened, and it turned out that I was at the wrong police station. So they all deal with different things. They have different departments, different police stations. So I had to actually walk to the next one, obviously because I didn't have the metro card. Walk to the next one and there again do my whole story, my explanation in the language that I didn't speak. Luckily they understood me, but as soon as I had to go home, it started pouring with rain. In this country where I am right now, in the city that I live right now, it doesn't rain often. So it was pure luck that I was walking through this dark alley, didn't know the streets, didn't know my way home in the pouring rain, but eventually I made it home. I never got my wallet back, sadly enough, because there was an important picture in it as well that I don't have anymore now. But eventually I got a few trips out of it because I had to get my new passports, I had to get new bank cards, everything. So I did some more traveling around, exploring, getting everything back together. Luckily, it was before I got my residency and everything else sorted out, because if I did lose that as well, it would have been a pain, to say the least, to get all that again. So before getting your residency, you have to get a number to be registered here as a citizen, basically. Otherwise you can't apply for the residency. So to get that, I had to go to another police office outside the city. So I had to go by metro. And when I went there, again in my, I don't really speak the language, trying to sign language, trying to explain what I needed. And they didn't speak any English, so it was just a bit messy. But a funny thing that happened was that the police officer there, they're all dressed up in their uniforms, all looking smart, basically, for their job, obviously. And he had a ringtone of a song about police. But I think if he knew the actual meaning of the lyrics, he wouldn't have chosen that ringtone. Maybe you can guess what song it is, because it's not really the best to be playing when you have a phone call as a police officer. So that was a funny thing that obviously happened as well during that journey. I mean, the thing is, it was a pain to get everything sorted, and it took me, I will have to say, I arrived in January and I finally got my residency in December. So it was literally a year minus a few days that it took. And I'm still not even finished. So yeah, it was a long journey, but there's a lot of funny moments that I've experienced while getting the documentation ready, and also just the gratification of getting it all in a different country, doing it all. Afterwards, you can think, I did it, so I did it, so I can do nearly everything now when it comes down to this. That's what I thought anyway. Then when I bought my Vespa, it was another drama when I wanted to change my driving license, because I had a UK driving license, and obviously with Brexit, it was you can't use it in EU countries after a certain date. So I had to exchange that as well. That was drama because I moved in between, which was not the most convenient thing to do, basically, because they had my old address instead of my new address for my driving license. And then I had to go there, I had to get it changed, the address, and they said, yeah, of course, there's no worries, it's not been sent out yet, we will change the address for you, that's fine. But you have to do it in the other department. So we went to the other department, and there they were angry with us for even going to that department, even though we were sent there, saying that they can't do anything because it has been sent out, and why we even went there, why we even bothered going to talk to them. It was just a bit weird, a bit rude. Before any of that happened, they actually didn't even want to give me a European driving license, because they thought that I was a British citizen without a green card, basically, which isn't the case, because I'm an EU citizen. As I said, I'm Dutch and Italian, so it's both EU. And as soon as he saw my EU passport, he was like, oh, I'm sorry, yeah. But it was just a bit rude the way that he immediately just assumed that. Also, there's nothing wrong with being British, obviously, but I mean, it was just weird that they have such a negative way of handling it, because in the end, he could have just asked me for my nationality or my passport and it would have been fine. And also I did have the green card, so it didn't make any sense anyway. But it was just a bit like I said earlier, it doesn't seem like they want to help you to get all these things. It seems more like they want to make it extra difficult. Oh, if you finish this parkour that we've laid out for you, then you can have your residency, or then you can have your driving license. But first you have to jump through hoops, because otherwise, or do some tricks, maybe balance on one leg and, I don't know, point at your finger with your eyes closed or something like that. That's what it feels like sometimes when they just make you do all these things just to get some documentation. So I just wanted to film this video a little bit as an introduction, because I had an amazing idea from a dear friend of mine to do some videos on my expat life, which I have a lot of experiences in and a lot of funny stories to share with you guys, and sometimes not funny stories, but we always have to keep positive. So you can see this a little bit as an introduction video. I hope you enjoyed it. Obviously, as you know, if you have any ideas or any things that you want to share with me, please do so. If you love this video, like it, and if you want to see more, definitely subscribe. I don't know if you've seen this t-shirt. Some of you may have followed me on Instagram already. This is the concert that I went to that was in my story, and I got the t-shirt because sometimes those things are the things that keep the memories even closer to you. And I also obviously just love the design. That was it for today. So have a great week. Don't forget to check out the videos on Wednesday and Friday. I will be doing some traveling this week, so let's see how that goes. But I'll definitely share everything with you guys that I can. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. See ya.